All right, let's see what we got. I guess we clocked in. Hopefully, you guys should be able to hear me. What's going on, party people? Now, if this is your first time here, welcome. It's definitely a great pleasure to have you here. I go by the name of Lespri. I am a spiritual healer. And essentially, what I do as a spiritual healer, what I do pretty much is that I help you to attain your highest level of consciousness. And what that means pretty much is that another way of saying this, ooh, sorry. Ooh, brother just ate too, man. Oof, I feel good. Anyway, um, another way of saying that is that I help you to become Christ like. I help you to become Buddha like, Krishna like. And what those represents pretty much is anyone who have attained their highest level of consciousness. And of course, by attaining your highest level of consciousness, you have more of a personal relationship with God and all of that good stuff. And if you learn anything, if you know anything about those people's story, then you'll see, let's just say for Jesus, before he became the Christ, you could learn about his trial and tribulations, what he had to go through. And now, if we're talking about Buddha, his name was Siddhartha, right? And then now, underneath that tree, through his meditation, being personal with by going within himself, he became the Buddha. And the Buddha simply means to wake up. So what we're talking about here is anybody and everybody who have attained their highest level of consciousness. So you want to be Christ-like, you want to be Buddha-like. Why? Because that's how you obtain your highest level of consciousness. That's simply what that is. Now, in this channel here, to give is to receive, what I do is that I use the power of words to help you to attain your highest level of consciousness. Now, when I'm talking about the power of words, what is it that I'm talking about here? Now, okay, so have you ever heard a quote that you were inspired by, motivated by, or perhaps, let's just say, you were simply enlightened by? Because what you're witnessing there is that you get to see the how the word the display of the words. You get to really see by you being inspired or motivated, that's the word actually fucking you up. It's acting out on you. And what makes those statements very powerful to me is because, first of all, I mean, they automatically bypass your conscious mind. It's almost like without your permission, look here. And that's what those quote does. And to a point where they also somehow make you more receptive to learn more or to delve more into what else the quote has to offer. And that's what you'll see whenever you come across a quote, how subtle, it gets to you, and that's powerful to me. And the one thing that I learned, I know a lot of people always say, be mindful of what you say, your words are powerful. Yeah. I mean, I get it. I get what they're saying in terms of, you putting your intention into your words. I get it, but that has to do more with as it is within, so it is without, in so many words, but not necessarily like what we see, let's just say, when you read a quote. you know that's when also I noticed it's not necessarily what you say that is powerful, but it's how you say it. And every great speaker, we understand that. And even if you know anything about the Egyptian Book of the Dead, the I Ching, the Tibetan has one too, man. What is it called? I mean, it's the Tibetan Book of the Dead. They are all written in poetry format. And there's a reason behind it. Again, it's not what you say, but it's how you say it. And what makes these very powerful too, just like I was saying, if I were to go back to what I mean, to making to the point that I was making, it's how these things are being put together. And the how is where the magic is, because the how is what makes you, that's how it bypass your conscious mind. And at the same time make you more receptive, you know what I'm saying, to the quote itself. And that's the power of words to me. And you get to witness how the words fucking you up. And here's something else too that is very beneficial to those quotes. Since they have such a power on you in terms of getting you to open up and to be more receptive to unpack a lot of the wisdom that those quotes or proverb or old saying has. It's like, because of that, you don't necessarily have to go through certain shit for you to understand certain shit. And that's why I always tell people, like, those quotes or proverbs is probably the only shortcut that you'll need in life. Because in most cases, we all learn by going through some shit. But with these guys here, with those quotes, the power of the words, you don't necessarily, because it already got you open and got you receptive to it, that you can also learn or retain the intelligence, from certain things that you didn't have to go through. And to me, like I said, that's the listen. That's the only shortcut you'll ever get in life, ever. But anyway, so that's the power of the words, and that's what we do here. So technically, I use a lot of quotes and I expand on them. I talk about some of the things that are not, you know, that we don't see automatically in those statements, but that are there, but that you need to delve a little bit deeper for you to realize or understand what is it that they're truly talking about. So that's what I do, and that's how I use the power of the word now to help you to attain your highest level of consciousness. Okay, so as a disclaimer, and I always take my time to let you guys know about that. As a disclaimer, a lot of those quotes, they're what's the word that I'm looking for here? I mean, they're not. I'm not assigned, or I don't pertain to one group. I mean, I embrace everything. So a lot of my quotes would be some of them from the Bible, voodoo, Christianity, Islam, uh, 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 the Sufis. Oh, these motherfuckers are wise too, man. Peace to all these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Buddhism, Hinduism, doesn't matter. So, because to me, it really comes down to this. When it comes to wisdom, wisdom is wisdom, regardless of where it comes from. Because the left side is saying it doesn't make it any lesser truth if it is the truth. So, what we do here, we embrace all truths. But anyway, so that was the actual disclaimer. Ooh, oh, god damn, your boy is feeling good. Anyway, yeah, I probably need some little something anyway. So, with no further ado, let's get into what we came here to do. So, let me actually pull it up. I almost forgot. All right, this is actually a good one too, guys. The spiritual journey is the unlearning of fear and the acceptance of love. And it's written by Marianne Williamson, if you like to look it up. But let me say it one more time. The spiritual journey is the unlearning of fear and the acceptance of love. God damn. Everything you ever needed was said right there. So let's break it down for a second, right? So we're talking about, the spiritual journey. And what she's saying is the spiritual journey is the unlearning of fear. I would probably say, I mean, it's ultimately the same thing, because if you unlearning fear, you're truly learning fear. I guess what she's trying to say is the old interpretation of what you had about fear Do you see what I'm saying? I think, and I can't recall like there's an actual definition for fear too. I think it's false appearance, whatever the fuck. I mean, I don't remember. But ultimately, what she's really saying here, the journey is the unlearning of fear, meaning you keeping yourself open and the acceptance of love. Nigga, that's all you need. She could just, I could just drop the mic here. But yet again, there is so much that is being said and so much that's not being said at the same time. That shit is crazy. But that's the beauty of those quotes. It's meant for you to go inward, for you to dig deeper. As I hope it captivated your mind, and now you being more receptive. What else to talk about here? Well, this is the foundation, guys. That right there is everything you need to know. Again, I'm trying to find the. All right, so where do I start? Okay, so let's talk about the unlearning of fear. I mean, it's. I started there. So, but which can also be the learning of fear, like I was saying, because what you're truly learning is that fear is just it's just there to alert you, man. It's just an alert. It's not meant to crystallize you. It's not meant to put you in a box. Yeah. With this body being as clever as it is, so it warns you. It lets you know there's danger. Now it is up to you to override it. You gotta override it. You gotta override it. You gotta override it. And you do so now by the acceptance of love. Now, when we're talking about love, guys, what we're simply talking about here, it's you. Like I always tell people, learn how to love with a broken heart. What this is referring to is you have to keep opening up. A lot of us, through the fear, disappointments, will become closed off. And the more closed off you become, meaning now you're not acknowledging your own, you're suppressing your emotions. You don't have a healthy relationship with your, with your energy. You definitely hurting yourself. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the very foundation of what toxicity is. Anybody or everybody who's toxic, you'll see that, they're closed off. And unfortunately, let me use this example, right? In our culture, unfortunately, like, I mean, people don't, we don't even talk about love anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because somehow it makes you feel weak, it makes you feel vulnerable, but which is exactly what you need. And a lot of us, when we get to these situations, you are developing your inner strength. So you want to be vulnerable, you want to keep open up. Because what that does is, as you're doing so, that's how you build your confidence. That's how you become internally solid by speaking your truth and standing next to it or behind it, however the fuck you want to look at it. So the acceptance of love is you, because a lot of us, let's be honest, we all wanted to love somebody because that is our nature. It was that one time or that disappointment or you were raped, whatever the fuck happened, right? It's always that moment that can either build you up, and that's what it is for most people, right? I mean, they go through that those early phases depending on how they were brought up or depending on what the situation was. Then you find a lot of people who are in boxes because they don't understand. Christopher Nolan in Batman Begins, I love that line. When he was talking to Bruce, he said, "Why do we fall?" You fall so you know how to get up. So when you understand these things, I mean, you are unlearning fear. Do you see what I'm saying? Or you learning fear, not fear as is, but you're learning the circumstances itself, or what people call fear, or you get to see fear truly for what it is. We are in a culture where, going back to that, right? We say, "Can love pay your bills?" As if we're looking to downplay love, and to somehow money makes everything sound good. Money is the way to, I guess, legalize. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, so if you ain't talking about money, if love can't pay my bills, well, what are we even talking about love? Is that what the point is? I'm trying to figure it out, because if that's the case, well, nigga, do you take shower? Do you brush your teeth? Do you drink water? Do you breathe air? Can any of these things pay your bills? In fact, nigga, if you can't even breathe for like, depending on how long can you hold it, let's just say 5 minutes. Do you guys like? Come on, man! Like, fuck your bills, bro. Fuck your bills. You know what I'm saying? As if, like, I mean, how how do we even compare the two? But again, that is the fear. See, for you to get on that spiritual journey, to know your essence, because the word spiritual derived from spirit, which is your essence. Because in spirituality, we're not talking about religion here. And just so you guys know, I guess while I'm on it, the true meaning of religion is not what you know as you know it today. It's not a belief system. It's not, let's just say, I'm into Christianity, he's into Islam. That's not true religion. The meaning of true religion, maybe I shouldn't say true religion. The meaning of true religion means God consciousness. Being a man of God is a religious man. Like when I'm talking to you about today, right now, that's what makes me. I am a religious man, but not in the current, definition. Because what makes me, because I am a man of God, I'm speaking of the divinity in us, or the divine in us. But most importantly, I'm helping you to become conscious of that Godhead mentality. So it's God consciousness in the flesh. But anyway, I guess check out my other channel, Lespri. I'll break a lot of that shit down, but that's not what we're here to talk about. But check it out. I mean, there's a bunch of information. That would be very valuable. Trust me. But anyway, going back to the culture itself, what I'm saying, a lot of us, our natural state is to open up. That's why at a very younger age, I mean, or early age, you were open to share, you were open to do all of that until, maybe you got fucked and you never heard from anybody. And then now, there you are, talking about, can love pay your bills? What love got to do with your bills, man? And not to mention, do you understand we create money, people? Do you guys understand that? I mean, if you truly understand that, that alone, man, should put you on a whole other level. Or grasping, again, there's different levels of reality here. The deeper you go inward, well, the better your sights are. I mean, the better you're able to recognize what's around you. And that's the irony part of it. But at the same time, it's the paradoxical aspect of our life. It's almost like you want to be mature. Well, you're gonna have to go through some challenges. To whom much is given, well, you already know. Much is required. And to whom much is required, much will be given. You know what I'm saying? Tomatoes, tomatoes, but ultimately, I'm trying to get you to recognize, you know what I'm saying, or to adapt that Godhead mentality. Because if you already perceiving life from that perspective, and listen, man, you have already you on your way to self mastery. Because attaining your highest level of consciousness, it is self mastery. This is you now understanding how your minds work. Now you're conditioning your mind to the best of in accordance to your higher self. But anyway, I do have something coming up on that. You know, I started pretty much putting it together. Um, but anyway, we'll talk about that later. But now going back to the whole can love pay my bill shit, right? So by learning the truth, which is what love has to do with paying bills, man. Like there's a bunch of stuff in life that are valuable, but money has nothing to do with. So again, when we're looking at the level of toxicity of fear or disappointment, you know what I'm saying? All of that, you know what I'm saying? Like I always tell people, toxicity like fear and ignorance, especially ignorance, is the foundation for toxicity. And to unlearn and the unlearning of fear is coming out of ignorance. Learning how to love with a broken heart is you understanding your position, whatever you had encountered, not to take it personal, because people are gonna be people. They're gonna be who they are. If anything, you should learn, and when if you went in in something similar to this, it's for you to open up and for you to be wiser, not for you to change. You know what I'm saying? But for you to change, meaning not for you to become closed off, not that change, but change in the sense of becoming wiser. You know, creating boundaries, learning who the right person is, knowing how to choose. Because it really gonna come down to that. You gotta know how to choose, man. You gotta make the healthy choice. And this is why we learn about the spiritual laws. We look for, I mean, because the spiritual laws now gives you, you know, the codes for you to get the things that you want to get. For instance, you want love, love yourself. Find the things that you love. You do the things that you love, you find the one you love. That's how it goes, man. That's how it goes. You got to know the spiritual laws. But anyway, I also want to tie that up to, again, to understand, to become more open to you, it's the unlearning of fear too. And that's the whole spiritual journey. Like I said, nigga, like there's nothing else for me to say. Your growth, your development is gonna come out of love. Meaning as you stay open, you keep opening up. That's the transcendence. That this is you, let's just say, being a kid, being a baby, keeping your an open heart as you're going through life. And an open heart also means an open mind. And that's how you learn. But when you become closed off, you have a closed heart. A closed heart, and that's the foundation for toxicity. Anybody and everybody who's toxic, it's never somebody who has an open heart. It's either their heart was open and become closed, but for you now to stay on that spiritual journey, you gotta keep your heart open. And that's why so many people are telling you you got to learn how to forgive. Forgiveness is not for the other people, it's for you. Because when you mad at somebody or you have something against somebody, it's not that person, it's you. It's almost like are you gonna eat poison and looking at me to see if I'm gonna pass away? That's what you do when you hold grudges. That's why for me I don't hold grudges. It has nothing to do with the next party. It has to do with me. I keep my heart open. Now that doesn't mean I'm gonna fuck with you. Nah, in fact, because of me having my heart open, listen, man, like, oh man, how can I say this? Like, I really don't give a fuck. Like when I'm done with someone, nigga, because I have an open heart, like it's totally different. It's not personal. Does that make any sense? Whereas, and I see it with people who always, trying to act tough. Those are the bitch. Those are the ones like, hey, I can't believe somebody. You know what I'm saying? All that bullshit. You see what I'm saying? And if you understand what I'm saying a whole lot here too, because a lot of what you call clinginess and all of that shit, people will felt like they're being entitled to other people, and the level of delusion. And it's almost people who don't fucking know you neither too. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, shit's crazy. Like in Haiti, like we call that sumun. Like you never see somebody like nigga, where do I know you from? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like where did we go to high school together? Even if we would have went to high school together, so what? Do you see what I'm saying? But again, I'm saying that to say, it's always the ones who suppress their emotions. That is the recipe for, first of all, to keep your heart closed. And again, it's the recipe for toxicity. You're gonna learn how to become less toxic, or to be on your spiritual journey, or to grow within that journey by accepting love, by keeping your heart open. Simply by keeping your heart open. And of course, to do that, it requires for you to be in alignment with you. So, in that spiritual quote by Marianne there, it's like it looks simple, but there's a lot. There's a lot. I mean, what do you mean? Like, do you just accept love? Nah, man, it comes with a state of mind. There's a level of understanding that it comes with. And first of all, to even talk about love and that level of understanding requires you to be in alignment with you. It entails you embracing yourself. This is when she's talking about the spiritual journey, it's almost like, what I'm saying? I mean, this is the journey of the spirit in so many words. And I want you to understand the difference in what I just said here, because it's different. So what that journey entails, pretty much the whole journey, that's what it is. It's accepting love, or to keep yourself open. You know what I'm saying? Not, we're not talking about a lot letting people abuse you. No, 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 no. That's not what we're talking about at all. But it's not to change because of what some other people do because of them. And for the most part, people would be who they are. Why would you allow somebody to fuck your life up because they're fucking their life up or their life is fucked? I don't know. It can't be me. Nigga, your life is your life. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel bad. I don't feel nothing. Your choices, my choices. I'm putting up with my choices, nigga. So I'm saying that to say, but even to get in that state of mind alone, it requires you to embrace yourself. It requires the journey of self. So, guys, again, like I felt like this is a whole fucking lecture. Like, and I talk about this in so many different ways, and it's like that's why for me it's almost like maybe I should just say this and just be done with it. You know what I'm saying? But again, the beauty is into delving into those different parts of it. The unlearning of fear. Well, to unlearn fear, you would have to love, accept love. And to love simply means to open up, to stay open. Embrace yourself, those divine qualities in you. And as you do so, and speaking of learning how to choose, and that's how you choose the right person too, man. I mean, a lot of us, it's almost like, and it's crazy too, man, when you don't have the sight. It's almost like it's a gamble. That's why I always tell people, man, when you understand yourself, it gives you the key to understand other people. Like for me, like I'm living like a divine life. It's not it's not a weekly Sunday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an every second thing for me. When you understand your essence, and I'll give you a perfect example, when you know your spirit, so therefore, when I approach someone else or when I come into contact with somebody else, I look at their spirit. Because to truly know anybody any fucking way, it's not the way they look like, right? I mean that yeah, it plays a part to, you know, to their physical body, but to truly know someone, you got to go beyond what they look like. Yeah, I see what you look like, but I know there's more to you. So we're talking about your character, the type of person you are. And again, shit, to go a little bit deeper too. I mean, this is also to understand the very nature of our environment too. That's why the Indian called this an illusion. Illusion does not mean fake, and I need to emphasize on that because I realize a lot of people think illusion means this is a fake world. No, that's not what it means. This is a real world, nigga. Your mind is making it real. The experiences you're going through is real as fuck. But now, what that means is, you know, things are not what they appear to be. Just like you looking at me and I see you, there is more to me than what meets the eyes. When you see, let's just say, that's how we get to know somebody. You know what I'm saying? Even when you're dating somebody, you know, a relationship is more than just dick and pussy. That's where the whole fucking aspect of open dialogue comes in. But most importantly, if that person does not do their shadow work neither, and you have done your work, you guys are not going to go together. So again, part of that spiritual journey too, I'm giving you all of those clues also, or the ammunition, you know what I'm saying, on how to ride, I mean, safely around here. Because this is the land of the lost. Oh, trust and believe. Because what you're dealing with is jealousy, envy. It's all of that here. And the structure of it, you're living in a society where you technically, been taught, or they teaching you to live your life based on who you should be, not on not on who you are. That's why society is the way it is. It's not a coincidence. And that's why, and I always talk about this too, right? You know, shout out to Extentacion, I'm saying? Peace to the God. I remember when he actually transitioned, and the guys who actually did what they did, went and got the money and showing it out. I mean, he got robbed. They did what they did, whatever, and then they went back to their house with the money, and that's how they actually got caught, right? And a lot of people always be like, "Yeah, it is stupid. I get it. I get it. Yes, of course it's stupid." But what we're not seeing in this particular instance is that, what I'm saying, the validation I mean, those two kids were seeking for validation because, what I'm saying, they worship idols. The validation is in our society, the more animalistic you behave, well, what I'm saying, so a nigga got to be a bully now to seek validation, to be validated. Oh, he's good. He's accepted. He's good. He's accepted. So because of that, now people are not being who they are. You have people who would not comment on anything until they hear someone else say something about it. Isn't that crazy, bro? Hey, damn, you might as well just kill yourself, man. Like, do you even exist? You might as well just take yourself out. This is crazy. And again, if you're thinking about any of that, anybody's watching this, please find the proper, the bullshit people will be saying. But again, I mean, how do I become accountable for everything, man? Give me a fucking break, man. Give me a fucking break, man. But anyway, as a disclosure, if you're thinking about that, please seek help. Who gives a fuck? It's yourself anyway. But I'm saying all of that to say, man, and this is not to be rude neither. Like, I mean, acceptance. I mean, of course, I mean, there's always a different way to deal with stuff, but it's crazy too to see a society who condition you to be fucked up. Anyway, I'm not even gonna go there. Such a disgrace. I mean, and this is the society you guys are looking to be part of, to be proud of. Now, this is beyond insanity, if you're asking me. But anyway, I'm saying that to say, in a culture where we teach certain things and expecting a different results. We're not teaching people how to love. We're not teaching people how to love who they are. And how the fuck is are there anybody's gonna love? Like, how do you love each other if you don't love yourself? This is proven. This is actuality or reality. This is reality, actuality. However the fuck you want to put it. And that's why, I mean, you're not gonna find love without somebody who do not know how to love who they are. You're gonna think you're talking about love, but it's never gonna be that. Because the purpose of any type of relationship is for you to be intimate and to be vulnerable. And that entails you, the unlearning of fear, to accept love, to open up even when it's not easy, and the amount of work that it requires for you to do on you. Just to listen to somebody, that's a lot of work, bro. That means you got to shut your mind up. I'm listening to you. I'm curious into what you got to say. Your input means something to me. If I don't have self respect, how do I respect you? It doesn't work. I mean, it's not going to work. So again, that's why I always tell people learn about the spiritual laws, because the spiritual laws or the universal laws, those are the codes on how you do certain things. You know what I'm saying? You want love, love yourself. In fact, shit, everything starts with you any fucking way. You are either the way or you are in your own way. You can either be the way and the truth and the way, or you could be in your own way and be false to yourself too. You could do all of that. And obviously, that's what we have seen. But the people who are actually, let's just say, being in their own way, the issue with them is that they never aware of it though. That's why the very statement that says, "He who can and he who now he who says that he can and he who says that he cannot, they're both truth. I mean, they're both telling the truth. And obviously, whoever wrote that statement, it would be a guy like me, because we understand it's either you are the way or you are in the way. But one truly understands the science, the other is blocked by ignorance, but yet it's still right. You know what I'm saying? So again, going back to the spiritual journey, that's what this is all about. It's all about you being open, accepting love, accepting yourself. Because a lot of the fears that we have embodied, the one thing that I realized, and this shit is funny, I remember, and I always tell this story. I don't think I've ever said it on this channel, but in Lespri channel, by the way, check it out. Um, I remember I had to write this paper. It was funny. Ironically, the paper was about fiction and nonfiction. And throughout my research, I come to understand a lot of people are living a fictional life. And that shit is crazy. A lot of us think we're keeping it so real, which is not even true. I mean, how real is your real if you're keeping up with the Joneses? That's a fictional life, man. You go to the gym. I mean, not the gym. You go to the clubs. You're popping bottles. People are looking at you. You feel like fictional life, nigga. I realize a lot of people live more in their mind than in reality, and that's facts. Even when people are talking about God, it's a fictional God in their mind, but they don't have, you know what I'm saying? And when you're not in tune with yourself, I mean, you become delusional too. And because of fear, keep in mind, what was it? The meaning of fear. Let me look it up, man. I think it was false something reality. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Hold on just a second here, because I'm gonna go somewhere with that, right? Meaning and now meaning of fear. I'm gonna go somewhere with this because here we go again too, right? Because now that you, let's just say you have embraced fear, and fear has a direct relationship to your mental. Do you see how you live in a fictional life? Like your fear that may not even exist, and somehow something that you have not even lived yet, you have not even gone through yet, but just the fear of it have created a whole reality for you. And I mean, it's anyway. Let me go ahead and find that. What is it? Meaning of fear. No, I don't know if that's the right word that I should put in, but I can't recall where I've read. I know I heard it somewhere. What is it? False something appearance, whatever. I mean, that wouldn't be. the dish. Okay, because I went and looked it up trying to define it that way. But what I really had in mind, I don't know who said it, but a few people have said it, and I came up with this, a way of breaking down fear, because obviously fear. I mean, I mean, when you haven't activated, when you have not activated your spiritual journey yet, or when you're not on your spiritual journey yet, meaning you haven't activated your spirit yet, because that's when you become spiritual. You become spiritual by acknowledging the spirit in you. That's when now you start to acknowledge you got a third eye, you have your chakras, you know what I'm saying? You have your subconscious mind. Then you start to acknowledge, let's just say, the deeper aspect of yourself. And this is all part of unlearning fear. Because the more in touch you become with yourself, the more now you are acknowledge fear, but not in a sense of pushing it away. No, no, no. You want everybody to be on your table. Okay? I want you to have dinner with these niggas. You know what I'm saying? Don't make it your last supper, but something like that. Have all of your disciples sit together. And that's what being healthy is all about. That's what being, I mean, because when we attain your highest level of consciousness, it doesn't mean you're not going to feel fear, or in certain circumstances, you may well be triggered. But the difference now is that you have power over these things, not in a way where you are, let's just say, suppressing it. That's false. That's no power at all. That's you technically running away from it. But to have true power and to know, or to overcome, or to have the right understanding, or to unlearn fear, is to embrace it. To truly look at it for what it is. If this is an alert, thank you very much. Thank you for letting me know, but this is what we're going to do. And I want you to take it easy. And now you have the mental capacity and the emotional capacity now to overrule that alert. Whereas in the past, your shadow, you could have been, let's just say, I guess, I'm wilding. Whereas in the past, you could have been triggered or captivated by your monster. That's really what I was talking about, and I didn't want. But for lack of better terms, you could have been triggered by, let's just say, your fear or certain things, but triggered in a way of where you have no power over it unless the situation removes itself, or you're no longer around that same situation, or you came to come down. Oh my God. Ooh. Then now at this point, that's when you go like, okay, did I do that? Nah, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. What are you talking about? Really? I don't remember. That kind of shit. And a lot of us sometimes we think, people are not being accountable. But how can anybody be accountable if you're not taking yourself into account? Do you see what I'm saying? I know a lot of us love to criticize, right? But at the same time, look at the reality too. Be fair. I mean, to have a just, a righteous judgment, you can't look at it from one side. You got to look at it from all sides. Do you see what I'm saying? So again, going back to that statement, it's like I'm just looking to break it down in so many different ways. But ultimately, in a nutshell, I mean, that's really what it comes down to. That is what the spiritual journey is about. It's the unlearning of fear, but most importantly, the acceptance of love. And throughout the journey, that's what you're going to learn how to do through your circumstances. When you're saying shit that happens to you and that's not the way you wanted shit to be, guess what you said? It's all for the best. It's gonna work out somehow. It's gonna work itself out. I know that for a fact for me. Oh, I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, nigga. I feel no fucking evil. And especially now, oh my God, knowing what I know now, especially what oh man, you can't tell me nothing. Respectfully and humbly, because the truth has set me free. That's why knowing yourself is very important. That's why, and also, what I'm saying, accepting love. You are love. What you're doing by looking at the positivity in bullshit. It's a way of you transmuting what's happening to you. But also, now that you have purified, you have to the pure, all is pure. Now that you have become pure, or let's just say, I mean, you got the sight now. So when you look at it from a positive perspective, what you're doing is you allowing yourself to stay open. It may not work out. It may not work out the way you want it. It's okay, man. You know what I'm saying? Did you learn? I mean, in life, you can either learn or you win. So that's a win-win for me, if you're asking me. And throughout that spiritual journey, that's what you will encounter. I mean, that's pretty much what this whole thing is all about. When Christ is telling you to love your enemy, I mean, that doesn't mean, I know for me, I mean, that doesn't mean you go hang out with these niggas. You know what I'm saying? But again, to the point of what I was making earlier, forgiveness is for you. And that doesn't mean these motherfuckers ain't gonna pay for what they did neither. Oh, au contraire, mon frère. It's totally different. I know for me, it's like, you have no clue. There's a couple of people who think they are entitled to me. I can't wait to show them how entitled they are to me. Sweet victory, baby. Oh. And every time I say that, and I enjoy it too, because I love, part of me, I love to see people, I love when people think I'm stupid. I do. Because they always got to wake up to me somehow. You said what now? Ah, maybe, yeah. All right. You know what I'm saying? But again, with a fucking open heart. And like I was saying earlier, because I have an open heart and I keep it open, my cut of game is just, it's not personal. Not at all. Not at all. You know that? I sleep good at night, baby. You know, well, I definitely don't have to keep my lights on. Woo wee! Oh, nigga, I sleep well. You know what I'm saying? Well, sometimes I just can't wait just for the next day, just to see what, what will tomorrow bring. But even then, I let tomorrow take care of tomorrow. But I'm also, I mean, it's just to say, it's like, you know what I'm saying? And that's what the journey is. Keeping yourself open, knowing your true essence. Learn if you got your heart broken, it's okay. It happens. You're not the only one, motherfucker. This is life. But it happens so you could learn. You don't take love for granted, or you don't give it for free neither. Because if you really want to talk about, expensive shit, since we were talking about the money, no, 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 no. It's like, nah, man, you got to be worthy of love too. But again, going back to toxicity too, like if we're going back to, the whole toxicity in terms of, can love pay my bills? What you're seeing also, it's a culture who is not acknowledging its own feeling. And if you don't do that, you're not gonna grow. There's no growth. You know what I'm saying? Only through growth can you be like, okay, I got hurt. Yeah, but I learned how to be smarter, make better choices. That's pretty much what it comes down to. But you can't make better choices if it doesn't start here. And let me say this too, because a lot of people, and I always would like to take my time, and I'm just going to talk about that shortly. Oh man, it's almost an hour. But anyway, and I always talk about this too. Self love and selfish are two different things. Entirely two different things. Like, I know the common denominator here is self, but it's two different worlds. Selfish is only concerned with the external benefit for the self. And because of that, it doesn't take into account your personal feelings. That's why people who are selfish, they'll just step on anybody. They're only concerned with what they want for themselves. Now that's selfish. Now self-love now is different, baby. It's a different ball game. Totally different. Now this is me nurturing, loving my own feelings. And because I'm in touch with that, now I can ask you, how are you doing, my friend? Now I could be like, okay, you know what? I was about to go this way, but I noticed that, you know what? Let me do that later. Or whatever the fuck the situation is, you approach it a little bit better. How was your day, baby? Like, everything good? Everything all right? You know what I'm saying? Like, how you feeling inside? Now you're more concerned. That's why you have the ability to love now. Now you're concerned about the well-being. What kind of person are you? Can we come together? Can we work together? Do you see what I'm saying? So a lot of that has to do with self-love. And as you're doing that, then you enter doing your shadow work, because now I'm taking accountability for me, like myself, and nobody and no bitch I'm gonna be with, you're gonna be like, that was because of my ex girlfriend. Nah, none of that exists over here. You know, if anything, what you're gonna get is top shelf, baby. Creme de la creme. And I get better by the second. And we stay open. You hear me? So, you see what I'm saying? So, the foundation for a lot of toxicity is people who are being closed off. It's fear. And I see a lot of people with fear. It's just so crazy. Like, they act as, I mean, they don't even know what's going to happen. And they're expecting the worst to come out of a situation. And then when that situation happened, it's not what they thought it was. Sometimes it may be worse. You know what I'm saying? That's why I always tell people, man, you always stay ready. You know what I'm saying? But there's no way for you to expect the worst neither. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'll prepare for the worst, but I'm expecting the best. You know what I'm saying? That's anyway. That will be just me. But I'm saying all of that to say again, the whole spiritual journey in itself, it couldn't be any more precise than that. And that's really deep, because what she's talking about here, unlearning fear, is deep. It's deep. And accepting love, man, it's that's what the journey is. Well, that's what she said too, but it's just well said. And I still feel like I'm not. You know what? I guess the best way for me to make this right, you gotta check out the whole Lespri fucking channel. Seriously. Literally. Because what that does is, because to me, this is a representation of every topic I have ever talked about. Because that's what the journey is all about. It's you keeping or having a positive outlook on shit. You're keeping yourself open. You're not allowing circumstances to shut you down. God and you, this divine quality, must prevail. Your integrity, not money, should be guiding you, nigga. Those divine principles, that's what should be guiding your life. But you would have to love yourself, but also you would have to know how to, you would have to stay open. Do you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of us, this is what we do, and unfortunately, that's what I've been seeing, especially in the relationship world. You would have someone who got hurt or a dumb motherfucker play you, and for the most part, and here's the crazy shit. Then now you have those relationship gurus now who's teaching you how to be just like the motherfucker that did what they did to you, instead of you learning from what they did and continue to be you or a better version of you by understanding the differences or by now having discernment, because that's the key. But instead, what a lot of you motherfuckers you do, you become even worse than the motherfucker that fucked you over. So now let's just say if that person didn't show you appreciation, didn't call you all the time, now you know that's what you're gonna have to do to somebody else because of what, like, you know what I'm saying? Like if you show them you love them too much, like cause I'll be hearing to what they're saying. This one nigga I was listening to said, you know what I'm saying? If you show appreciation, like you want to be with somebody that you don't want to show appreciation to, like what are we talking about? It's like it's mind fucking to me, and I'm listening to it. It's like wow, it's almost like you went from one to like shit, not even zero to like negative. Now you become closed off. You know what I'm saying? It become a bait thing. It's the battle between the sexes. Hey, good luck, guys. Then after that, y'all gonna get married. After all that, to top it off, y'all gonna get married. Unfucking believable. Hold me down, man. Hold me down. Hold me down. Somebody, please, out there, hold me down. It's just insane. But I'm saying that to show. I mean, none of it is the answer to your growth. And that's where too. I always tell people too, like to unlearn fear, you would have to learn how to embrace your pain too. Because in the mix of embracing your pain, what you're gonna see is now you gonna it's like it's almost like you having this conversation with yourself. In the occult, we call there's something called healing your wounded child. What that's referring to is those early emotions or those early disappointment that you had, especially as a kid, because these things they do shape your life, right? Just like if you're a kid, you were bit by a dog, at a very young age, then you tend not to like dogs, or you probably will never have a dog at your house or shit like that, right? But it came from that experience. Meanwhile, man, listen, man, a dog is very friendly, dog. Do you see what I'm saying? It's one of the best friends you can ever have. You know what I'm saying? Again, stay open. Stay open. You know what I'm saying? And then here you are saying, no, this is what I'm saying. And then there's a whole other reality that's happening too. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's why it's important for you not just do, your shadow work, unlearning fear. God damn, that is the journey, bro. As she stated again, like it's the deeper I get. That's what unfolding. Not unfolding. Well, the journey, but um, what was the word she used? on unlearning fear. And as you're doing so, listen, man. I mean, you definitely gotta accept love. I mean, that's the icing on top of the cake. I mean, love is the key, and that's what makes it the key because it allows you to open up. Love is not about being clingy. No, none of that shit. When you love, you can also love somebody, let go somebody you love. It has nothing to do with motherfucking dominating somebody or none of the shit that you guys are doing out there. You know what I'm saying? The battle between the sexes. After you fuck all that bitch up or that nigga up, then you want to marry that nigga. Wow, wow, wow. So now it's yours. Like you see how brutal, how barbaric that kind of shit is. There's no civils. It's not civilized at all, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like I've seen people that are being hard. They can't even say hello. Do you see what I'm saying? But just to maintain, like, hello, nigga? Hello? Just to what? Like, it's, what exactly are you dominating here? I mean, maybe to somebody who doesn't know. I guess y'all playing the game, but to somebody I mean, I don't even know what type of game that is, right? But because it is a lose lose game. You're not building a true relationship. You're not bridging the gap. If anything, you're creating more of a gap, or you get people to follow you, whatever the dumb shit is. And then this is the person like you're gonna. I mean, well, hopefully, I mean, and then you guys gonna get married. Blows my mind. It blows my mind. Blows my mind. You know what I'm saying? You do all of that, and then you expecting something good to come out of it. Whereas all you had to do, that's not your person. That's cool. And whoever that person is too. And again, unlearning the fear, whoever that person is too, they did whatever they did because of them. Now here you are, because can you imagine me becoming stupid because somebody else is stupid? Come on, bro. What the fuck? What the fuck? That's a lose lose. Like this motherfucker's already lost. Now you reacting out of a lost nigga. Can you see how lost the whole situation is? But again, the fear is just insane. And and outside of that, we find a way to normalize it too. And that's when you hear the can love pay my bills? Because right now, if it ain't money, you ain't talking. Hmm. 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 Fuck out of here. It's like, and this is crazy too because now, again, you become delusional too. Out of fear, your emotions are not balanced. Then it has a direct impact on your intellect. Then that become one-sided. It becomes unbalanced. So now you have a society of a lot of people who are unbalanced or creating rules. Now this is who you're gonna date. All of those unbalanced, dysfunctional motherfuckers. This shit is crazy. Now it's literally crazy. It's crazy, crazy. And these are the people too. Like once you start dating them, and this is what you're seeing in this fucking reality. Husbands are killing fucking wives. Wives are killing husbands. Like all that shit. This is not a coincidence. Like this is how it's supposed to be because it's conditioned to be that way. For you not to love yourself. If you don't love yourself, how do you embrace your fear? People who don't love themselves, they suppress their fears. When you go see a shrink and you talking, they're helping you to acknowledge your fear. How did you feel when you were young? What happened when that happens? They're trying to get you to see it. Do you get it? Again, that's why when I talk to people about spirituality, that is your fucking life. If you don't know what spirituality is, that's because you don't know your essence. So again, the spiritual journey, it doesn't start the minute, there's levels in it. It starts the minute you acknowledge it, then you become spiritual. But it's on. You got to wake up to it too, though. Life doesn't stop. It's either you sleepwalking, and at one point you're going to have to wake up and start walking your walk. You know what I'm saying? Because this is all part of the spiritual journey too. Of course, when you acknowledge it, it's that's why this is for the living. But either way, it is all spiritual. Now you have the livings and you have the deads. Again, it all stems. Again, like she made it sound so simple, but to those who knows, like for me who know and understand what she said, it's all of my fucking recordings. It's all of my lectures, pretty much, or talks. And she summarized that shit in just one fucking sentence. Thank you, bitch. Thank you. Wonderful. So again, like this is a fully loaded statement. If you understand to the deepest, or to, if you understand how to unlearn your fear and embrace love and understand that you are love. Oh man, listen, everything's gonna be a bruise, man. Then you learn, and then now you're learning. Now you understand the meaning of why do we fall. We fall so we could get up. When you choose to remain, you keep your heart open. When somebody, let's just say, sort of broke your heart, you truly learn and you move on. But when you suppress your emotions, you become closed off. You have not learned. What now you became victim. You became a victim. It's different. Now you became a loser. It's two things. You could lose or be a loser. And understand this: the winner, it's a loser who's willing to lose again. But a loser stopped. And this is the difference in life. As a little kid, if you didn't keep walking, as you were crawling, or you know what I'm saying, doing all that shit, as a little toddler, or a little baby, you wouldn't be walking today. So you better embrace your pain, man. Your pain are not against you. That's the truth you need to know to adopt the Godhead mentality. And this is also what you need to understand in order for you to accept love and keep yourself open. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a difference. You don't have to become a victim. We all went through our shit. Like if I were to tell you, nigga, shit, I was illegally adopted in a family that don't give a fuck about me. Abuse is, you already know. Motherfucker stole my identity, never told me who my real parents was. And of course, all of it is because of money, nothing else. But I'm saying that to say, you know what I'm saying, I'm not going to be a victim of that. I'm sorry, bro. It was something I learned. In fact, shit, these people were my footstool, like literally. I became the person I am because of them. So you think I'm gonna close off because of that? Nah, nigga. Like I'm oh shit, nigga. I'm 24/7. I stay open 24/7. That's what learning is. Now I could build on it. It allows me to see it exactly for what it is, but most importantly, I could retain the lesson. But when you become a victim, you don't learn from anything. You don't grow from anything. You're gonna have to carry your own cross, man. You know what I'm saying? So that statement is telling you to carry your own cross. Again, guys, I mean, this is a fully loaded statement, man. Like, I really didn't know where to fucking begin because I feel like everything I talked about was a representation of what that means. I mean, although I didn't truly emphasize too much on the unlearning of fear, but I guess in so many words, that's exactly what it is. Or to embrace your fear, or to learn about fear, and to embrace love. And love simply means, again, you staying open. And what you see, and that's the difference too. The people who became toxic is the ones who are victims or who claim to be victims too. Because you have a lot of motherfuckers too that are doing a lot of dumb shit, and then it's like, oh my god, help! Nah, bitch. I got the perfect help for you. Trust me. But anyway, I think I said everything I had to say, guys. I mean, I think I drag it, as much as I can. I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit more. But again, but this is also very deep too, man. It's like I could go in so many different ways and that's how deep it goes, and especially with the accepting love part. I mean, you can't do that without accepting yourself. I mean, there's so many things that are saying here, and by accepting yourself, this is a whole different ball game. It then tells this is the path less traveled. This is you not seeking for validation now. This is you not keeping up with the Joneses. This is you living your best life, doing the best that you can for yourself. This is now you become your own, not even competition. It's almost like, I mean, motivation, I guess. Do you see what I'm saying? Like it's a whole different. It's totally different. And just because you're doing that too, it encourages you pretty much to keep exploring different aspect of you. At least for me, I mean that's how I mean it's been. It's almost like, oh man, I'm in love, and the more I am, the more I mean I'm delving more into it, and you really get to see it for what it is, and not to mention the relationship too between your higher self and your lower self. I know for me it's just amazing. It's amazing. And not to mention a lot of other perks that it comes with. Nigga, if you know, you know. But anyway, we're gonna leave it here. So again, remember, the spiritual journey is the unlearning of fear and accepting love. If you truly understand this, guys, man, you there. You're not even on your way there. You there. So we're gonna leave it here. You already know to give is to receive. Remember, for you to be you, nobody else could be around. Always go within, so you never go without. And always remember too, man, the remedy of the pain is in the pain. Oh, and also, if you think money's everything, well, guess what? You'll do anything for money. And, you know, I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? So understand this. It's how you see things. That's how your reality is playing out. What I was trying to tell you by If that's what you see, if you think money's everything, meaning in your little process, the way you process things, life is cash rules everything around you. I mean, yes, I do see people use money. Yeah, it does. Yeah, but how do you get money though? What is money? It's a medium of exchange. Do you see what I'm saying? Be true to yourself. You'll never be false to nobody else. The minute you false to you, you can never be true to nobody else. Haitian. Bra. Malay.